Hey guys. Sorry, I've always wanted to do that. No, seriously, um, it's an inside joke. But welcome back for another video. Uh, what a way to start out. Anyway, this one might be a little bit longer. I'm not really sure. Uh, I'm just churning them out now. All of a sudden, uh, I'm probably going to pay for this tomorrow because I'm doing videos when I kind of need to be really focused on what I'm doing for tomorrow's session. However, which will be in about 10 hours, and I need to sleep somewhere in there. I want to kind of go into the Roll20 journals. It's kind of like a character sheet for you, basically, in Roll20. And you will create these. So the first thing I should probably do is explain a little bit about um, the Roll20. Yeah, I probably should. First of all, not everyone is going to see what I see. I'm the game master, so I'm going to see. I probably see more things over here than what my players see, and I'll go into those somewhere down the road too. That's not what this video is going to be about. And I probably see, I think, a little bit more than what they see here. I think I see, well, I know I see 6 icons. I believe they see 4 or 5. I'm not totally sure. They definitely should see chat. I don't think they're going to see art library. They will see journal. I do think they see jukebox. And yeah, so I think the only thing they won't see is art library. So anyway, journals. That's this spot right here. Okay. Um, like normally you're going to be on your dialogue box. I was tinkering around trying to create a new button for foraging because I'm going to try to do more by the book. I kind of have my own little system for foraging that I think is a lot easier, but I kind of want to do, and I'll get into macros later too. But that's what you see here. This is me screwing up my macro. I forgot to put the little squiggly brackets at the end to close the macro, so very simple mistake, easy to fix. Anyway, we click on the journal tab, and this is where I put all the character sheets for the player characters. So I have Wednesday group and the Sunday group and the Gone But Not Forgotten, which I use that for anybody that dies. I use it for whenever I make an upgrade to the journal, which I have recently added martial arts skills to the journal. I should have done it right the first time, and I didn't. Especially with like bad guys. With bad guys, I just basically put basic information in, and now I'm ending up redoing a whole bunch of work. So anyway, if you're going to do this, my advice would be whatever you want to create for your character sheets or for your journals for your bad guys, try to be as detailed as you think you're ever going to want to be, so you don't have to go back and redo your work. Don't take shortcuts. I've got a bad habit of taking shortcuts, and I've been paying for it. So anyway, journal is where you're going to create a bunch of different things. You can create handouts, which is things that the characters can see. Like, for example, this is Wednesday party funds. Um, I was just looking, thinking, where's all the money? They probably divided it up, and that's what they have left after, or once they divide it up, um, they they probably only have a little bit, and then maybe they found some more, so it's beefed up to 50. Because I would imagine if they had 50 golds, they would have divided that up too, but maybe not. Um, Wednesday group herb kitty, something I created for them to keep track of their herbs as far as like, total group. And then you got like Sunday party funds. They've got some trail mix over here too that they bought as a group. In fact, I think bought the Wednesday group maybe bought that too, but I'm not. No, maybe not. And then I can just give them like different things that they learn, various different things that they learn along the way. Um, clues and things I can put in there. Anything that can be of use, um, you can create for them and put them into various folders. Tools, something simple like this. They have access to anything I give them access to. They want to pull out a campfire, they want to pull out a tent, a torch, whatever. They want to pull out the wagon with the team. I can use the tools too. It makes it easier. If anything you think you're going to use a lot of, campfire, torch, tent, the wagon. I put the wagon on almost. They've got a wagon, so I put the wagon on almost every screen there is. And the Wednesday group has a mule named Sally. I don't know why I can't see her picture. Oh, uh, that's her picture, but of course her token you pull out. That's Sally. Generic. I didn't make a a special token for Sally. I keep forgetting about Sally actually. But that's your journal section. You can make all kinds of different things. I mean, primarily I use it for. I'm just curious. What in the world do I have here? Oh, I know what that's for. That's for the bad guys that are going to be in the gorge. Some of them I already have elsewhere, so I just have to move them there. But anyway, I would advise when you get your journal, like for example, I call this Master Journal. I'll click on it and open it up. Master Journal duplicate for new journals. Do not rename this, whatever it says behind there. Here, let me edit. Do not rename this copy. Okay, so I have made the mistake of renaming the journals and putting all the information in, and then I don't have a master blank. Anyone that knows what it's like to have a template that you like to use for a whole bunch of things, and then you accidentally copy over that template. For example, like I got a blank character spreadsheet that I created, three different types, one for dual weapon wielders, one for uh, standard characters, and I had to even create one for someone that needed one for Mac friendly computers. But anyway, I made the mistake a couple times of copying or saving over my masters, and believe me, it's a lot of work to. Well, it can be anyway, but it's easier if you have just your template, your master, and you'll use that for everything that you do. But you want to save. I'll get into what we do here, but I would also recommend having a copy of the master and having an emergency copy of the master just in case you accidentally copy over one of them and then maybe even copy over the other one. And I mean, you get to be my age, believe me, this stuff happens. Um, it's just good to have a couple spares. You should see in my Guardians of Middle Earth folder, and I think on my desktop as well. I've got folders and subfolders and other folders. I have my spreadsheet saved in about 15 different folders, and I have them saved on the Guardians of Facebook, Guardians of Middle Earth Facebook page. But I just very paranoid about losing my templates. Believe me, I have. But anyway, for some game systems, this isn't just for Middle Earth. These videos I'm creating, but that is the system that I use. So what I put on these videos is going to be based on the Middle Earth role-playing system. However, this basically can be used for Dungeons and Dragons, or you name it. If you can use a tabletop role-playing, like Roll20, tabletop. I don't know what you call this. Anyway, if you can use one of these, you can use it for any game system really. You just have to, some game systems already have spread character sheets built into them. MERP does not, so I basically created my own journal. So what you do to create something new is you're going to add. You click this add button. You can add a character, which is going to be like, turns into one of these. You can add a handout, which is things like this, or the tools. Name it anything you like. or a folder. So like I made a folder for NPCs, Mooks, PCs, gone but not forgotten, blah 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 blah, handouts, handouts, handouts. Basically, you're going to add it, and then you're going to drop a file. So basically, you're going to copy them. You're going to upload something that you want them to be able to have access to. That's your handout. Folder is just going to be a folder, and character is going to be like you're going to drop a avatar picture here. This is where we're going to end up eventually attaching a token. You're going to name your whatever, your character, and this is where you tell who can see it. Basically, I did initially have everybody's journals available to everybody as far as to be able to see, but then your 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 little area over here really gets cluttered with a lot of useless, unnecessary things. And then this is where you click this to say who can edit and control the token, and the journal. Tags I don't really use. This is an important button here. I'll get into that in a minute. You put your bio and information, GM notes here. But we'll kind of get into this. This video is going to be a little bit longer. It is. There's no way to make this a short video except for me to not ramble on about things, which I have a bad habit of doing. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, if you, for example, saved that, this is basically what you have. Okay. So most of you aren't going to be using my system and my journals, my character sheets. You might be using an entirely different system, but how you're going to set up your journal is if you let me bring somebody up once. Let's bring up. We'll bring up Rowan. She's the highest level character that we have. She is my 99.9 percenter. 99.99. She fell asleep during a recent session for a few minutes, so she's been beating herself up for that. This is what you're going to see. All right, so whatever you put in bio and info, that's what you're going to see kind of here. And if you have a lot of things, you'll kind of, I think, be able to scroll down. She doesn't have a lot in here, but I think the more you add, you just can scroll and see what's all there. Character sheet. I tried to code a character sheet 2 years ago. I was just getting into coding, and I sucked. That's as far as I got. It's terrible. I I think I ran into a brick wall with whatever I was putting there. I think it was PowerPoints. Yeah, it was a disaster, believe me. But it's there, and you know the players kind of like film. They do. They'll go in there and now Ronik's not a dwarf. I recently did something. I think I recently upgraded or updated her to a new or upgraded her to a new journal. She's actually, I'm pretty sure, a Sylvan elf. She's not an animist. She'll be angry if she sees that I goofed her up. But anyway, I'm not really going to get into all that. Attributes and abilities. This is kind of what ends up showing up on your screen. But what you're going to do is this is just what's going to show up after you click edit and fill in, these areas, whatever you put in there. And I'll get into my own journals here in a bit. I think I'm going to kind of split this video into kind of two parts. Basically, how to set up your own journal, and then how I set up mine, and what's going on with ours. For those of you who are into Middle Earth role playing and kind of want to see what I do with our stuff, but I don't want to just make these videos strictly for Middle Earth role playing. I want it to be able to help anyone else that's out there and maybe wants to set up their own thing. So so whatever you put in over here is, well, here is going to show up for the players. If you add anything in here, I think it'll probably show up for the GM. It does. I did have some things in there for some bad guys in the past. You click cancel there. Anytime you click X or cancel on the edit screen, it's going to pop back up to the main. And then for your attributes and abilities, this is where you're going to put things like, for example, strength, agility, constitution, or whatever for D&D, like strength, dexterity, charisma. I don't. It's been so long. I've been away from D&D forever, but that's where you're going to put all your attributes and anything that. It's kind of really hard for me to explain this without explaining my own system, or not my system, but the system that I play, Middle Earth role playing. Um, in the next video, it'll kind of make a lot more sense, hopefully, to everyone what this is all about. But this is where you put any information you want to call upon. For example, when you're creating macros, and I'm going to get into that too in another video. And then here you can add various abilities, like for example, let me say, you put in strength, and then you put in the current and the max, or hit points, for example. That's a good that's one thing. If you have hit points or body development, which is in Middle Earth role playing, uh, just kind of gives you an idea. As your as your character is taking damage, this number, when you add it to the token inside your journal, that number is going to decrease. Your maximum will always stay the same. And we'll get into all that more in other videos. Over here is where I put attack macros and spell casting macros. I will get into that or in the next video. I don't want to do everything in one video. This is already 17 minutes, and I probably really didn't give you a whole lot of information. But it'll pop up like that. Basically, I'd say, just say, for example, it's a dagger attack. Okay, I put dagger. I would put my macro in there. I'll go into macros in a video as well. Some of you out there probably understand them a lot better than I do, but there are those of you out there that maybe don't know anything at all about them, and I was at that point 2 years ago. And honestly, I still don't completely understand them, but I have enough of an understanding that I can create them and somehow get my way through some of the really difficult ones, especially the two-weapon combo attacks with the system I have in place for it. It's very complicated, but anyway, you would put your macro in here. You could show it in the macro bar, which would end up being like these buttons down here. This is macro bar. Or you could show it as a token action, which would put a bunch of buttons up here on the top. Well, I'll get into more. I'll get into all of that more in my when I'm going over me adding a journal for a bad guy, which I'm going to do in the next video. This video probably kind of halfway sucks, but I don't want these to just be Middle Earth role playing videos. I want to be able to help other people, and in my next video, I'm going to do Middle Earth, doing a journal in Middle Earth role playing. But any other system can be used with the same concept, and hopefully this is a little bit helpful. But the next video should be maybe a little bit more helpful. And like I said, there's no real way to make these very short. I want to try to be a little bit detailed and just be me, I'll see you in the next video.